Intellectually petty radio on your stereo. Don't compare us to anything, this a different scenario. We break records while we pushing the culture forward. Great music and big vibes right in that order. Intellectually petty radio on the stereo. Don't compare us to anything, this a different scenario. We break records while we pushing the culture forward. Great music and big vibes right in that order.
And you are now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio, brought to you by M3S3 Clothing. Men make moves and suckers stand still. And as always, on the mighty Nerve DJs Radio Network. Y'all already know, man. We only rock with legends around here. And today is absolutely no exception. We got Uncle Sam, R&B legend, in the building. How you doing, King?
I'm good, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. How's life, man? How's your family?
Oh, man, everybody good, man. Thanks for asking. What about yours, bro?
It's been a rough day for me. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Sorry to hear that. My prayers, brother.
Yeah, man, I could use them.
Yeah.
Yo, so you go back a minute, man. You had a hit record with what was that? Stone Creek Records back in the '90s.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we definitely did. We made some moves.
How you end up running into Boys to Men?
I was in a play called A Good Man It's Hard to Find, man. For 3.5 years, man. We toured the country, and my role, it became like a leading role. At first, it was a supporting role, but as I got into, the arts of, doing the acting and singing at the same time and rapping at the same time, my role ended up being like the lead role of the play A Good Man It's Hard to Find. I played the son, Buddy, man. I played a young thug all the way through the play, and then at the end of the play, my brother had got shot with my jacket on, so they thought it was me. So I was real apologetic and, going through it because he didn't die. He was just in the hospital, and I was praying for a miracle, man. And I came up from the bed singing out of nowhere, and the crowd just went crazy every night all across the country, man. So that gave me opportunity to be able to see and meet all different types of people, because we sit in major cities like California for a month. We sit in New York for like 2 months. And I ended up running into a guy who was like best friends with Wanye Morris from Boys and Men. He was doing road managing for Jodeci at the time. They was on tour with, there was Boys and Men, Jodeci, and MC Hammer was on tour together. And so it was probably like about 1996 when I met him. And right after I met him, I went to Kansas City, where his producer that he signed, named Alex Ward, was there. I started working on my demo. I was staying with my brother Todd Neal while I was in Kansas City. And we was working on the demo. One day he called me with Wanye on the phone. His name Charlie Chifini, by the way. He called me with Wanye Morris on the phone, and I sung over the phone with Wanye on the line. Wanye went crazy, man, and he was like, man, we need you to come on, pack your stuff up, man. We're going to send you some bread, and we want you to, go home, man, and get everything squared away, because we need you in Philly, man. We just did this deal for $9 million with Tommy Mottola. We want you to just come on and, get with us, man, if we can work something out. So they sent me the bread. I went on to the crib, lined everything up, and, flew out to Philly. I did the first song before we haven't even did our paperwork. I did this song called Tender Love. And we did the remake of Tender Love. And it was a wrap after that. They was like, what we need to do. So we did the paperwork. Bread was right. The contract was right. And we made it happen. And
You talking about the For Some D's Tender Love?
For Some D's Tender Love.
Yo, that's a classic right there.
Yeah, it's on the album. That was the very first song I recorded when I got to Philly, and we made that happen, man. And Native produced it, and it was an epic movement, man. We did I Don't Ever Want to See You Again ended up dropping as my third single, and it
Mm-hmm.
came out in the fourth quarter of 1997, going into 98. And surprisingly so, the record shot to the top of the charts, like over all of the major artists that was out at the time. Because in the fourth quarter, that's when they put out all the big artists so they can get ready
Right.
for the Grammys. So they put it out, man, and the record soared over. Like I was looking at people up under my name, like Elton John, and Usher ended up coming up passing me because I ended up in number 2 spot in
Mm-hmm.
Billboard R&B, and he shot the number 1 at Nice and Slow. And so I was number 2 in R&B, number 5 in pop. I think it was like number 17 in the top 100, and it was number 1 in R&R. That was the most R&R radio rotation. That was the number 1 spent record in the country at the time.
Yo,
So
so how you feeling at that time? Like you surprised or you saw it coming?
man, I wouldn't use the word surprise because I had faith that, one day I would make it, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And I wasn't surprised, but I was definitely ecstatic. I was definitely excited, man, because coming up in Detroit, man, I ain't even gotta tell you, growing up in the city, man, opportunities wasn't there for music, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? At that time. Right now it's a mecca, but at that time, we didn't have that many people that opened doors for us. So the streets and all of those other things was what was compelling us. And I didn't know whether I was gonna be the one to make it out. I wanted to be the one. I ended up being the one. I prayed for it. I asked God for Sony. I asked God for Boys to Men, and He gave me both of them. Because at that time, Boys to Men wasn't even with Sony. I just always had, a real strong yearning to operate with Sony because they were so, well diverse in their business model. They wasn't just music. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
So
Boys to Men was man.
yeah,
Boys to
Boys
Men was
like
killing shit.
they was the biggest in the world. They was in
Yeah.
the Guinness World Book of Records. They had the longest running single in history with that song "One Sweet Day" with Mariah Carey. Yeah,
That's crazy. It's like
yeah,
they don't Boys to Men don't really get even with all the accolades, I don't think they get the respect they deserve.
yeah. Them boys, they globally they do, but United States they just another legendary group. And the thing about the United States, we're so spoiled with talent until it's like our stars really don't get their just due until after they're dead. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
they really get appreciated, more so, after they die. Like, and right now with social media, they get, everybody post them for a couple of days and then that's it. They move on to whatever's next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what happened after that first big wave of success?
Well, after the first big wave of success, it was a lot going on, man. It was a lot of drama that happened with Sony. Tom Mottola, he took a hit. Um, the label took a hit. My president that signed me over there, his name was Ron Sweeney. He signed me over there. He stepped down from out of that position. Um, and when he stepped down out of that position, in the music game, when you really want to go in with who you came with, you want to leave
Yeah.
out with who you came with. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times who coming in next, they coming in with their crew. They coming in with who they already got in mind. They want
Yeah.
to put their bread behind. So I was blessed and able to get released from out of the contract with Epic at that time. And once they released me, we were looking to do an independent deal. I came to Detroit and, I was trying to put Detroit on my back. I was trying to, help everybody get on. I was trying to open up doors for, a lot of the artists in Detroit at the time, but it's hard to kind of get guys to get together, you know what I mean, in Detroit a lot of times. But now it's way better in regards to the unity in Detroit.
Let me ask you this: looking back, you think that that was a mistake on your part?
What, coming back to Detroit?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
And I'm sorry.
If I could rewind the tape, what I would have did, I would have just went on to LA like they was trying to get me to do, and just stay plugged in and stay doing me. And then after I got, maybe 3 or 4 new albums under my belt with the new label, then come back and see what Detroit was talking about.
Yeah.
At that time, I'm just so loyal though. Like most people from Detroit is loyal to Detroit, man. Most
Yeah.
people
Facts.
that really, come from that city and like really come up in the mud, like, they really loyal to the soil. And that's how
Yeah.
I was. And I really didn't want to see it no other way. I wasn't hurting for no money, so I wasn't tripping about, hurrying up and putting out a record. You know what I'm saying? And then, I was in a position of where I could, I could chill. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really stressing, but at the end of the day, musically, I did do, probably maybe 2, 3 albums. Like I got some records up under my belt. Like a lot of them I'm getting ready to drop after I drop this new record. I'm getting ready to add it because I just signed a new deal with this network. And we getting ready to announce it real soon. I got a network deal that I'm getting ready to do with the streaming service. And actually I'm be able to help a lot of people in Detroit still with the independent film side and the music side. So, the doors is opening, and you guys with the podcast side, it's some opportunities getting ready to, unfold where, I'll be able to be a blessing and help y'all make money, doing what y'all doing. This non-exclusive contracts. We'll be able to do some things, man, and I'm looking forward to it. So let me go back. Let me rewind.
Okay.
Was it a total mistake? No. Was it what could I have made a better business decision by staying in LA for a little longer and letting my power source get stronger? Yes. But
Yeah.
I love the D, man, and don't get me wrong. I had so much fun in Detroit, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of, I got mixed opinions about it, but for the most part, I think I should have stayed in LA for a while longer.
You know what? Over the years, I've seen a lot of quality talent that either got caught up to the majors, so to speak. Did good for half a season and was okay with that, and wanted to go back home. And then they had the same thoughts afterward. I think sometimes our love for the city, it gives us a ceiling that, it's almost like we create a glass ceiling because we want to be that one that brings the whole city up. But sometimes, we bump our head and don't realize it.
Yeah,
And
I
a
mean,
lot of us guilty of that.
yeah, it is. I mean, it's the thing of it is, like I said, at the end of the day, when you from there and you see the hurt, the pain, and the potential, and in that order, when you see the hurt, the pain, and the potential, it's like you want to be the one that help
Yeah.
bridge that gap, man, because it's a lot of talent in the D. You know what I'm saying? But you got to think the spirit of Motown never left that town. Like the energy and the music talent, the music talent is still present in that town. The only thing is missing is the money in the industry. That's the only thing is missing. Now, we starting to get a nice spurt, you know what I mean, of talent that's elevating in Detroit. My son is one of the top rappers out of Detroit right now. Samuel Shabazz. He's with the Wavy Gang with Babyface. You know what I'm saying? He's doing real good in the city. And they're doing real good. Their whole squad, is all superstars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So time is evolving, and they will get their major shot, coming real soon. But the thing of it is, like I said, it was just a long, hard road, you know what I mean? Because they were, I think the industry was kind of afraid to empower Detroit, because when they empowered us the last time, we didn't give it back. Motown took over the game. They had to take Motown out the city. They took Motown to California and left the city to be a historical landmark musically.
So Now hip hop wise, Detroit definitely is the wave right now. R&B wise, where's Detroit at?
Well, R&B wise, I don't know. I don't think the voice of R&B is strong, out of Detroit right now. I can't hear it. I can't see it industry wise, but I'm getting ready to represent the D again. And I have resources and I have, I have my foot already in the dirt. So all I got to do is really kind of just make my mark again, with this new project that we getting ready to drop. And I can
Okay.
step up and, again, this time I have a distribution unit, to where I don't have to come back to the city to make it happen. I can do it from where I am. And the way that they've set up the, social media and all of the digital footprints, it's an easier task to be able to open doors for the city to be able to help it thrive even more so than what it is.
Is love music dead?
Love music is never dead because it's people that love, even though it's not as what I would say relevant in the minds of the culture as it
Hmm.
was at a certain time. It's still people that love to love. It's still people that love to listen to love music. It's still an audience for it. It's not this the way the culture is now.
Hmm.
You know, it's almost like the propaganda and the music is kind of turning people to lower the standard in relationships.
Yeah.
um, that it's like it's glorifying hate and it's glorifying ratchetness. It's glorifying single, quietly miserable, not telling everybody you miserable being single. They trying to make it look good and
Hmm.
they trying to make it look like it's the thing to do. But when they go home to that little puppy and that empty house, they really be wanting somebody to be there with them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think love music has a lane, and I'm gonna drop some. Like I'm really trying to still put the peroxide in the womb. You know what I mean? Like I got music. My album is called Couples Therapy. So, it's exactly what you're talking about right now. Love music is really the key, to bringing at least a moment in a relationship that was getting ready to dissipate or dissolve. Like it's a moment you can share between two people where you couldn't figure out the words to say, but you could put the song on and let
Yeah.
the song talk for you. Like that's another thing too. Like because the music is not being pushed, in a love direction, is pushed in a hate direction or pushed in a glorified, street guy direction, or a glorified hooker, like they, because that's really what they are, the way that they plan themselves, musically, they glorifying all of these entities that really shouldn't be glorified in our neighborhoods because it's not the way we want our children to go. It sound good and it feel good to us in the club, but when
Yeah.
you riding to take your kids to school, that ain't nothing you want to play. You know what I'm saying? So,
Man.
but they putting the bag behind that, and they really pushing that narrative, and they pushing that to the point to where we're getting comfortable with it. It's like even when you look at television, the way that they showing everything on TV now, like they didn't used to do that when we was growing
No.
up.
They
You know
left
what I
something to
mean?
the imagination.
Yeah, it left a lot to the
Yeah.
imagination.
The
You know what
storyline
I'm
was more
saying?
important than the ass.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. And the thing of it is now is like they show it all. They don't leave nothing out. You know what I'm saying? They showing it all, and they desensitizing us to showing it all, and they desensitizing us to hearing it all. So it's like we are slowly but surely letting that age margin grow to be able to be exposed to any and everything musically and visually. And that's the agenda they pushing. So, when it comes to love, when it comes to fixing the family, when it comes to, bringing the family back together and putting that man back in the house and helping that man, take care of those kids with that woman. When it comes to that, that is something that they trying to cover up and hide and push to the back burner till it really ain't no more, so they can continue to destroy us as a family unit and destroy our women because they're without a man and making them become more masculine when and it's like they're operating in an unnecessary masculine energy, because they having to take on more fights than they supposed to because they pushing all the men out. But
And you know what? And I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that too. Like we doing a horrible job too as men.
yeah, but I mean, but
We
you
getting locked. We getting locked up. We falling into the goofy shit where we hyper masculine. We got to do a better job of protecting our women.
But like I said, that was the agenda.
Yeah.
The ones that you're talking about used to be boys. The all of the energy that you're talking about right now, those were boys that was raised in homes by just their mama. That's why they're so hyper masculine because really they're emotional. That's the that's the equivalent to hyper masculine. You over the top. You don't have to be all of that. You don't have to do all of that. When you're a man, you ain't got to go over the top to tell people or show people that you're a man. Just be that. But when you are trying to overcompensate for something because really on the inside you hiding something, which is the fact that you really ain't that tough. You really a emotional kid, scared. Really, you got a lot of other stuff you trying to hide and you ain't dealt with, trauma you ain't dealt with because you wasn't raised by no real guy. Yeah. When you raised by a real guy, you take on real guy characteristics. These guys ain't been raised by no real guys. They've been raised by their mama. And their mama did the best they could. You know what I'm saying? That, trying to raise them to be a man. But there's certain things that you still need some male influence around you to show you how to function in certain situations. And these guys don't have those tools. So they going to jail because they don't know how to calm down and rationalize and talk a situation out when you don't have to be violent all the time. Violence is not always the answer. Now, I'm not saying it ain't never the answer, but I'm saying it ain't always the answer. Yeah. Sometimes you can work a situation out by talking to a guy a certain way. But
you don't need to kill a nigga for stepping on your shoes.
Come on, man. You ain't got to do all of that. You ain't got to be sucker stroking, killing these women because they want to be with somebody else. You're killing who they with because you want them to yourself, but you don't know how to treat them. You know what I'm saying? And killing guys because your woman like them. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's crazy.
These guys get real weird out here, and their emotions is, getting the best of them. But they big old strong men with guns, but they got a woman in their chest. For real.
Yo, when is the new project dropping?
Well, we have not set the date for the whole album yet, but we've been talking strongly about dropping a single on Halloween.
Okay, that sounds dope. Yo, if people want to get in contact with you, how they go about doing that? As a matter of fact, can you tell us what the streaming service is?
I just signed a deal with Radiant. Y'all the first one to get this information. I just signed a deal with Radiant Saturday. And the name of my streaming network is BOAT, BOAT, stand for the best of all times.
That's dope. So if people want to get on your streaming service, how do they go about doing that?
Well, right now I'm gonna send you the link. I'm gonna send you over the link, and then you can post it. Whenever you. Is this live or you taking this?
This live. Both.
Okay. I'm gonna send you over the link, and then at whatever point you want, you can shoot the link out there, and then also with how to reach me, I'm gonna send you over that information as well.
Okay. All right, bet. Yo, this was pretty dope, man. I apologize for the little mix up earlier. Man, cut us a little short.
Hey, it's all good, bro. Like I'm not going nowhere. Like I'm here. Like we can do this again whenever y'all get ready. Like
Rita, fucks with that sweater too, nigga.
Man, thank you, bro.
Yo, I'm like, man, what the fuck, nigga? Let me see that dog. Like we gotta see that a little bit. Yo, that's okay. Now we really out there showing off, huh?
Oh no, not really, bro. I mean,
just a little bit, huh? A little something.
I mean, we just trying to keep warm when it get cool like that. You know what I mean? That's all, baby. Ain't nothing. You know what I mean?
I'm not mad at that, man. Yeah. Yo, if there's anything I can do for you, bro, just don't hesitate to let me know. Or hit Rita up, and we got you.
Man, big shout outs to Rita, man. Rita doing her
all
thing
day.
in the city, man. I
Nigga.
appreciate her, man. And she the music supervisor of the year. You know what I mean? Like she doing her thing, and I'm proud of her, man. And anytime y'all need me, man, all y'all gotta do is put the call in. I'm pulling up. You know, we got, like I said, we gotta try to help each other. So
Yeah.
once I get everything lined up, I'm a come
Yeah.
back around the corner, chop it up with her, and we can put something on the floor.
Yeah, definitely. We got you, bro. No doubt, man. Appreciate you for stopping through too, bro.
Hey man, thanks for having me,
No
bro.
doubt, man. Have a good one, bro.
I do.
All right, peace. Yo, come on, man. Legends only. Y'all already know, man. We're not fucking around. If when you get a chance, Google Uncle Sam, man. You will not be disappointed. Yo, I'll be back in about an hour or some change, something like that. And we got another fire one coming up. Who we got? Marcus Divine coming on at 7 o'clock. I gotta jump out of here just for a second. I gotta make a couple phone calls and make a couple moves, and I'll be back in an hour. This is Jobs. You already know, man. It's been another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio. I'm out.